What is up, Buck fans? We are back yet again with another RBT live stream. I am joined, thankfully, yet again with my co-host, as always, Michael Plus, who had a brief little fun vacation in a said place. Hopefully is COVID-free, but he's back again. Plus, welcome back. Tell us how you are. What's going on? Are you healthy?
Yeah, no, I'm doing well. Glad to be back on. I appreciate Gene stepping in for me. He did a great job. I watched the show, really good stuff. So I'm thankful for that. But yeah, happy to be back talking Bucks football with you as always. And yeah, looking forward to it. It looks like we got football pretty much going to be happening. So that's good news. It looks like they came to agreement. And we have Buccaneers reporting to training camp today and tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of things happening around the corner, so it's really exciting.
Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, let's just jump right into it. So we're going to have football, it seems. So the NFL, NFLPA reach agreement on COVID-19 adjustments to the CBA. This is something where it just kind of happened the other day, and there's a lot of fine little points. So everyone really knows about this 80-man roster. Where is it right here? Rosters must be trimmed down to 80 players by August 16th. I mean, that's still 2 weeks away, so they can still have the 90 until then. And then training camp doesn't start until August 3rd, I believe you said.
Right,
It's
correct.
not in this story, but I mean, there's a lot of things going on. The small points about what they're going to do. They're going to ramp up 3 weeks of practice until only 14 padded practice days. I mean, we'll get more into this, but what do you think of this? Like, what 29-3 teams said they're for it? Like, what is your, I guess, side or your point or
Mm.
anything on everything that just happened?
Yeah, I think that obviously there's a lot of money involved. They're going to do whatever they can to make this happen. Especially from an owner's standpoint. So that's why I think you saw the 29-3. Players and the NFLPA, I think they want to make sure everything is going to be safe and taking the right precautions that need to be made. And I think the owners are with that as well. I think they found a plan that can work on both sides, and I think that's where we're heading towards. But we'll see how it plays out. I mean, you got baseball starting up again. It looks like that is running pretty smoothly. You got basketball coming around the corner, NHL coming up. So we're going to see how this all plays out. But yeah, I'm excited that they got a deal done that they feel is you know both safe, and also everyone's happy. I guess I could say they agreed on it, and that's where we are right now, and we're just got to see how it plays out though.
Yeah, I guess it's just saying they're going to ramp up production of like how much contact they're going to have for like 3 weeks, a span of 3 weeks, how much they're going to do. Only
Mhm.
14 padded practices, like I said earlier. Then they had the financials agreed upon. Like if something happens, say one player does get COVID, they will be incentivized, not
Mhm.
just cut dry kind of thing.
Right.
Because that's the biggest thing. I mean, you're putting your life on the line, so to speak, if you contract the virus, and then you bring it home to your wife, your kids. Like that was the big thing of Donovan Smith. He just didn't want to bring it home to his newborn. I mean, rightfully
Right.
so. So
Mm.
I mean, that was the biggest agreement. But it sounds like they have something in writing. It's set to stone, black and white. Okay,
Mm.
we're gonna have football. So I
Yeah,
mean, go ahead.
exactly. Yeah, and it looks like they're pretty much starting with OTAs here to begin with. As we get into training camp on August 3rd, it looks like it's going to be like a brief OTA period where these guys can get into shape, get into football shape, work on some things, and I think it's kind of like a tryout for these younger guys, and I think that's why they have the 80 man roster cut down by August 16th, because there is no preseason games. So I think that's what they're leaning towards. That's how they're going to work it out, and see, let these coaching staffs see what they have on their team and see if these guys can, push some of the other guys and make that 80-man squad. And then once you get towards the padded practices that are going to be the later half, I think that's where you're going to see, who's who, and who's going to make it. And then you'll have your final cut downs to 53. And then we start the regular season right there in September, the first week. So um, it's a lot of moving parts very quickly. That's what's going to be taking place.
Yeah,
So it's going to be interesting to see how, teams, adjust their strategy and just how they, adjust to everything that's going on with these new rules and settings, because it's unprecedented times right now.
absolutely. I mean, there's going to be another stimulus check, it seems, coming out again. So,
Right.
I mean, we're getting another free check, pretty much. Like, it's just strange. That's never happened. Well, I think it did happen in my lifetime with the '08 crash and everything. But,
Right.
I mean, not where I was, I guess, spending the money, I guess. Well, I mean, hey, it's very, very different times, like you just said. I mean, economically, sports-wise, world-wise, I mean, very, very different. But everyone's talking in the chat about this, so let's mention it. So, Bucs rookies report and quarterbacks report to Advent Health Training Center. So right here you see Antoine Winfield Jr., big old smile on his face, grin. So all the rookies are there besides minus one guy. And everyone's talking about it in the chat, and it is Keyshawn Vaughn, who tested positive for COVID-19. How does this affect us? I mean, it's going to be, 14 days he's going to have to be on the injured reserve list, player reserve list because of this. What do you think, first, about rookies actually reporting? What do you secondly think about Keyshawn Vaughn with contracting the virus?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good to see guys get back in the building. Obviously they're wearing their face masks, which is good. Everyone's taking precaution, being safe. Obviously, that's part of the agreement that they came to, the NFL and the NFLPA. But yeah, it's great to see. Obviously Tom Brady was in the building today, so that's cool. But yeah, all the rookies, reported, which is great. As far as Keyshawn Vaughn, it's unfortunate, and it's going to happen. I mean, you're going to have guys that are going to test positive, as we see around the league. I think there's like 18 other players that tested positive, so he's not the only one. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he has a speedy recovery, stay quarantined, and hopefully we see him back on the practice field, in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This is a waiting game now. You gotta wait for that negative on the next test. So
Correct.
But either way, it's really good to see that nice grin right there.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually see football players returning. I mean, and then you also saw Tom Brady has officially entered the building and put some respect on Levante David's name. He's wearing his mask.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck this is, but Tom Brady is in the building, people. I don't even know. Look at this. I mean, this is the stuff we got to get. This is our news. Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield, just them walking into the building.
Yeah, really cool. So
this was cool too, seeing his actual locker. You got to have the 6 feet in between.
Mm-hmm.
Just the cool kind of stuff you're seeing. Everyone's spaced out. Again, keep 6 feet distancing.
Right.
Rob Gronkowski's there, so again,
yeah,
cool,
it's pretty
cool.
cool. I mean, yeah, it's cool because it's real. I mean, we're seeing it. This is like, it's facts now. We know they're on the team. Officially, like we see them. In the locker room and et cetera. It's it's still surreal that they're Buccaneers, but now it's like, okay, now it's time. Like it's time to go and it's time to play football, and very exciting stuff. I mean, we talked about it yesterday off air, but just got a really good feeling about this squad right now, and it's feeling pretty good right now.
So yeah, Jay Elmore's trying to bring something up really quick about the crap talking back and forth with Evans and Allen. We'll get there. It's in due time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fred F says in chat, finally football is starting. Yeah, this is actually news to talk about. This isn't just horse crap we're kind of pulling out of our teeth. Like, oh look, I found something. It's actually news and breaking stuff of, oh, now there's people contracting it. Now it's real in the NFL. Yeah. But something actually that's also big that we saw in that little NFLPA thing was we're going to have to drop down to 80 in 2 weeks. How much can you see of a team in freaking 2 weeks? They're not really going to be practicing that much. It's more making sure no one has it. That's going to take a couple days. Then it's organized just conditioning. That's going to maybe take 3-4 days, maybe even a week. Because these guys haven't had any organized anything. So
yeah, it's basically OTAs. I mean, that's how the style is going to be. It's pretty much going to be passing skeleton, work and stuff like that. You're not going to see any hitting. It's going to be tough for defenders, really, because they're kind of they're at a disadvantage, especially with this OTA. You're in shorts and helmets, can't really put your hands on guys. So yeah, it's going to be tougher for the defense, as far as the younger guys that are trying to make this squad. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the numbers play out, as far as how they balance it and who, what position groups get taken, a toll as far as hits go, or what have you, as far as cuts. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be different. It's just weird because you're usually having that preseason game, and probably be sometime next weekend. You're usually having that first preseason game, and now we're not having that. So it's just unreal. I mean, it's different times right now.
Yeah, I mean, just looking over the little CBA thing again, just because of the financials of it, like no fans are expected to go and stuff like that. They're bringing the salary cap down next year. That's why they're saying, okay, there's not going to be as much money to go around, kind of thing. And it's affecting everything. I mean, even the rich of the rich are getting their pockets pulled out right now. I mean, not as heavily as some of us normal folk, blue collar and everything, but I mean, if the top feels it, imagine what the bottom feels like. That's what I kind of want people to understand, right?
Yeah.
So with that, let's keep going. Based on what you were saying about this, which players could be on their way out with 80-man training camp roster. So there's actually a kind of cool story of them mentioning some names about no preseason games, blah, blah, blah. They start naming guys. So they say MJ Stewart was one name.
Yeah.
Kendall Beckwith. And yes, I checked. Kendall Beckwith is still under contract. Right here.
On the roster. Yep.
Are they hoping he can come back? That's a big name that everyone thought was gone. They thought, oh, he's done for his career. But you haven't heard anything. So no one knows anything. It's not like I have a crystal ball, I know anything. So, and he's above Jordan Whitehead in cap. So looking at this and the names, let's start from the beginning. Do you think MJ Stewart is one of those guys? Or who would you say is one of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, MJ Stewart, I think definitely is a guy on the list. Yeah, Kendall Beckwith for sure, because I just don't think he's coming back. Justin Evans, that's an interesting name. Again, I mean,
better
yeah.
Not.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing as Kendall Beckwith, who we just don't know if he's going to be returning. And you have a lot of competition at that safety spot, so that very well could be a guy. Javon Hagan, yeah, same thing, undrafted guy. Yeah, I mean, getting into some of these other names, yeah, I mean, these are pretty obvious,
Yeah.
Gil
Undrafted guys.
Yeah, exactly. John Hurst. Yeah, and you have your offensive lineman.
Oh, this potato guy.
Yeah, so yeah, really no surprises from that list. I mean, MJ Stewart, I think, is definitely fighting for a spot just because, yeah, I mean, he mentions Parnell Motley there, and then obviously Herb Miller too is another guy that we haven't really talked much of, but he's the guy that they like a lot. So yeah, I mean, it could be interesting to see if those names come to fruition. But yeah, I think they're definitely possibilities because we just don't know about Beckwith or Evans.
Yeah, I think you're going to look bottom of the line. Yes, MJ Stewart, I don't think you get rid of him that fast. You want, especially in a time where you're unknowing how much practice you're going to get, you want the most experience and most scheme ready players. And whether you like him or not, he's been in the system. He knows what to do. Yes, he may have not played the best under Mike Smith. He just didn't get his name called much under Todd Bowles. So let's see. I mean, you don't know. Especially when this is a time where you don't know crap. So I'm thinking more, sadly, the guys that just haven't had an opportunity at all are going to get an opportunity. Just solely based off of, guys, we don't know what you can do, and we want to give you the opportunity, but we can't. This is weird. Like this, no one expected this, and I don't see how you can cut someone who you have game film on to give someone a chance that you've seen do well against small school college players.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think definitely they're going to lean towards experience, and that's why you probably have the 16-man player practice squads. So you can keep most of these guys that you want to keep. that are showing out or doing well in training camp. So yeah, that's what's going to make it tough for the coaching staff, because certain guys could have a great 2 weeks and flash during this time, and then once you get closer to the season, maybe they don't do as well, or something. They just start not doing as great as they were to start off with. So I mean, we've seen that with Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards started off really fast last year and then kind of tailed off a little bit in the beginning of the season. I mean, he had the injury, and then started picking it up towards the later part of the year. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah, I think experience is going to be important. But again, you want the best players on your squad. Now they have to figure out how do they find the best players in this unprecedented time. How do you work that in?
Yeah, I mean, that's why, sadly, on this time, there's going to be a lot of players that go unseen.
Yeah.
The opportunity that there already is very little of, like those 4 preseason games, that they already diminished to 3, and now this year is 0.
Yeah.
It's just, how much it is just put a little bit of game tape on to know you were in the league. It's not like you were just some off the couch of your neighbor's ex-girlfriend. Right? This is, you were in the league. You have some merit to your name. None of these guys are going to get the opportunity now, unless they literally win with that one team that saw them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, next year's draft is coming up again. Hopefully all this crap's gone after that, and they lost their opportunity. But wait, before we go on anymore, guys in the chat, I know you're chatting up there, but give us a second to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below. That always helps us with the channel. And with that said, let's keep going on. But yeah, I mean, this everything's crazy right now.
Yeah, but one more point on that. It's going to be interesting to see what these other teams do as far as waivers and stuff like that. You're probably not going to see a lot of movement. I think you're going to see a lot of teams just keep their own guys. That's why I think the practice squad is pretty much going to be pretty easy to get, like, the guys that you like, on that squad. You don't have to worry about another team stealing, a practice squad player, because I mean, I don't think they're going to be sharing, training camp film. I know they record, training camp stuff, every day. Each team does that, but I don't think they're going to be sharing that among the league. I could be wrong on that, just to give guys more opportunities, I guess. But it'll be interesting to see how the waiver system plays out, and if because Jason Light, he likes to pick up guys, before the first week of the season. So be interested to see what happens in that regard. It's gonna be totally different from what we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I that's what Jay Elmore was asking. Y'all think no preseason games will make it easier to hide potential players or practice squad? Yes.
I think so.
Yeah. Easy answer, yes. I mean, no one else has access. I mean, I'm wondering what they do. Like, will they get fans access to see something? I mean, you don't know. I mean,
yeah, I know Raymond James talked about, having the stadium open up at, I think it was like 25% capacity to allow fans in. I don't know if it's going to be for regular season games, because I know they came out with, wear a mask if you want to go to NFL games and stuff like that. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what across the league they do as far as capacity goes. I think it's probably going to be kind of, very similar, 20 to 25%, very low attendance around the league if they do allow fans in. But how does that, play out between season ticket holders and then your, general admission and all that? So that's going to be a tough battle there, especially how they split it up.
And then Jay Elmore said highly unlikely.
Highly likely. Yeah, I agree too. I don't think they'll risk the people going to games, and that'll just cause more spread.
I agree. I mean, there's no baseball team that has fans in the stands.
Yeah, they have the cutouts of people.
Right? So why should there be anyone in a football field?
Right. I
mean,
agree.
Maybe because it's open aired. Maybe that's their justification. But the same thing is with baseball. I mean, I just don't understand. I honestly don't think there should be at all this year.
Right.
It hurts me to say that, but
no, I agree. I don't think NBA or NHL is doing the fans either. So I think it's all going to be, just empty stadiums, which is fine. I think that's the right way to go.
Yeah, he said money will determine who goes.
Gotcha.
That better not. It should be the health of everyone should determine who goes.
Right.
So just because you're rich money bags, you're going to take it down to some... Nah, I'll leave it alone. But this is good news. Fred F. said, can't wait to see Brady throwing the ball to new weapons. So that actually brings me to my next awesome point. This is what everyone kind of wants to talk about. Mm-hmm. Keenan Allen was mad. What is he mad about? He was mad about his checked in at 77th on NFL Network's annual top 100 list. Who should be more mad is Levante David checking in at 100, barely making the top 100 in the list. And Keenan Allen's mad he's at number 77. So that's more of a joke to me. But let's keep going on. He goes on to say, okay, I'm tired of biting my tongue. Not biting, but bitten my tongue. At Cheetah, who is Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs. At Mike Evans 13, you got that name right, who is our own Mike Evans, number one wide receiver, 6 straight 100,000-yard seasons. Chris Goodwin, I don't know who the hell that is. Pretty sure he means Chris Godwin. And the list goes on, are not a better receiver than me. Faster than me every day of the week. But separation, child please. I'm not going to click on that. Keenan Allen, I respect as he is a good receiver. Don't get me wrong. Yes. Are you better than Mike Evans? Hell no. Chris Godwin, he has an argument. Just because Chris Godwin has one good year. But what is your standpoint? And just let me hear it. Does he have a point? Is he wrong? Is he dead ass wrong? Like, what do you think? Guys in the chat, go ahead. Give me some more.
Yeah, Keenan Allen is he just needs to be quiet. Yeah, there's no room to talk here. I mean, Mike Evans has just been straight up, top 5 receiver in this league for a long time. He's done it every single year, 1,000 yards. He's produced double-digit touchdowns. He's averaged over 15 yards per catch. He hasn't had 100 receptions like Keenan Allen has, but I mean, you look at the numbers right there. I mean, he is just, he's production. I mean, 1,000, multiple 1,000 receivers, and he got 12 touchdowns his rookie year, 12 touchdowns in his third year. And he's been consistent the last couple years with 8. But you look at the yards per reception, all over 15 besides 2016. I mean, he's been one of the best receivers, hands down, in the game. If you look at Keenan Allen's numbers, Keenan, he's done a really good job as far as receptions. He's had over 100 receptions twice. A couple of times. And it looks, 1,000 yards the last 3 seasons. But you look at the first couple of years, he struggled with injuries and really hasn't produced much. Touchdowns wise, pretty consistent. He gets 6 every year, it looks like. But
6, that's a bad omen.
Right?
I wouldn't be bragging about that.
But, also another point is Keenan Allen's been playing with a better quarterback. Philip Rivers is pretty consistent. Mike Evans had to deal with Jameis Winston, who was just up and down. I mean, he was up and down with his career, and not saying Jameis is a bad quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback. It's just Philip Rivers has been doing it for over however many seasons. So now you look at Mike Evans and Tom Brady. I think Mike Evans is going to have his best year yet with Tom Brady throwing him the football.
Okay, I'm going to jump on that immediately. So J. L. Moore said it as well. Let's see what happens when he doesn't have Phillip Rivers. And let's see what happens when Mike Evans and Chris Goodwin have Tom Brady at quarterback.
Exactly.
So, oh my God, plus I'm logging off. So, I'm talking about Winston. But the thing is, so here's my point. So, I kind of touched on it. Hope you guys enjoyed our Tom Brady interceptions video. I know probably some people thought it was going to be a negative thing, but it's more looking at what he has here in Tampa Bay, and that's probably why he's going to succeed.
Right.
So basing that, looking at the opposite, Winston at what he had and how much he succeeded with 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns last year. What he's had in this team for years and how teams would say we're the, what do they call it? The Duncaneers, because we're so big, you just throw it up. What the hell do you think Tom Brady's going to do? We are going to be the Duncaneers. We've been wanting that for so many years. Everyone's been saying we're going to be that. I think we are going to be that. Why? Because we have guys that you don't have to throw to a perfect spot. You just have to throw it to a spot. Mike Evans, 6'5", 231. Let me just make sure y'all remember. 6'5", 231. Runs a 4.5, almost 4.4. This dude's big enough where you just throw it in the radius. He's going to catch the ball. So, Tom Brady, you don't have to be 100% accurate, even though you are that damn good. Chris Godwin. Okay, let's see. He's not as big as my man Mike Evans, 6'1", 209, but he plays like he's 6'3", 215, 220. The dude plays and blocks like a bat out of hell. Okay, we're looking at numbers of 525. Okay, he was a third-round pick. Only started 2 games. Second year, starts 5, almost 1,000. Third, blows up, misses 2 games, and still gets 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. So you think about it, year 4 should be 14, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, bare minimum. You would hope, especially with a better quarterback. But my thing is this. I'm doing now, again, I always give away what we're going to do the next video on. It's going to be Mike Evans. Pretty much I'm doing Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are just a disgusting pair. Okay, so you have last year, second game of the year, Panthers, Chris Godwin goes off. I think he had 8 catches, 100 and something yards, 2 touchdowns. Next game is the Giants. The Giants shadow a safety over him. It was so simple. Winston has one thing to look at. Oh, there's a man over there. Let me just go over the single one-on-one Mike Evans. Oh, they're doubling Mike Evans, and we go over to Chris Godwin. It was that simple. If Winston can read it, don't you think a 20-year vet like Tom Brady will read it? It's that easy. And then once they start shading, cover 3, they start helping with a linebacker, start helping with a safety or a nickel corner. Middle of the field's wide the hell open. Grauber and Kelsey, my favorite man. There you go. Yeah. Oh, O.J. Howard, you're big. Let me throw it to you. It's just simple shit like that where you saw Winston be blind to see. I know I'm going to get hate because people think I'm a Winston hater. It's just more seeing what the hell I saw. He didn't see it, even though they were wide open. So I think they're primed for a big year. You were telling me yesterday that this seems like it's going to be the biggest year in a while. You already feel it. I was hesitant until I started looking at all this tape and just seeing how easy it was for Winston in this offense. And how if you just make little adjustments, the defense is going to make adjustments. Quarterback and offense have to make it too. The offense can only call in a play. The quarterback has to read it. So I think with our signal caller we got, we're going to make this a big deal. But I talked for way too damn long. Give me your 2 cents on what I just crap the bed about.
No, I agree, and I'm really confident. I look at this roster, and as long as everybody's in place and we get our breaks with injuries, I think this team can go very far. And I think a lot of fans are starting to feel the same. I'm just happy that we got a deal done as far as football coming back. So that's great news, and I just can't wait to see it start up in September. It's going to be really exciting to watch. And as far as your breakdown, you're exactly right. That's what I see on tape as well. Defenses last year were shadowing to, either Mike or Chris, and sometimes they had a shadow to both. And like you said, the middle of the field's wide open, and unfortunately, the quarterback last year just couldn't see it. I think this year you're going to see a different story where, Tom can analyze it pre-snap and he can understand where the spots are going to be and he can make the quick decision. That's going to help our offensive line be better. It's going to help our running game, etc. The X factor is the defense, and I think our defense is going to be better than they were last year because of the front 4 and the front 7 that you have coming back. I think it's going to be stronger. So really it's just going to depend on how fast they can get started, going into the season. Are there going to be a lot of injuries because of no preseason? That's going to be a storyline to watch. Is there going to be, soft tissue injuries that we're going to have to watch out for? Those are the things that hopefully this team can, negate and not have, because that's something in the past that has hurt us. Obviously looking at Godwin and Evans, and Scotty Miller struggled with a hamstring. So just got to hope those things don't come back and bite us in the butt.
But the thing is, so offensively, I think either way, even if there is soft tissue injuries, we should be okay on the offense. Defensively, yes. I mean, if Colton Davis goes down or Vita Vea primarily goes down, there's going to be a big issue. But offensively, I think we should be a powerhouse. Now, I've been watching all these ESPN guys talking. We should be. I mean, even if, say, Mike Evans goes down, Chris Godwin should show up to be the number one. And dare I say, Scotty Miller gets the slot or gets outside, and then you have my man Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson. TJ. Yeah. Damn. He's on the Lightning too.
Right.
In the slot or outside. I mean, you just have guys that can compete at all these levels. It's just with a man that has done so much with so little, given this gluttony of weapons. I mean, then like we've said before, we can run this offense off of tight ends alone.
Right.
Gronk, OJ, Brait, which people will say he's not getting enough attention. Yes, he's not. Brait's getting no attention at all. I can't wait till he's just slapped in their face. Like, guess what? I'm also a really good pass catcher, and I can actually put up so you guys can shut the hell up. Jalen Moore says, sheesh, Mark, you should be fired. Well, Tyler Johnson. Yeah, I agree. I shit the bed on that one. But, I mean, I got texting. I got things to do, my man. Damn. I did shit the bed, though. Okay. But, I mean, I think offensively we are beyond loaded. I mean,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I'm confident that this team is going to be fine. Again, the main thing that can help hold us back is injuries, and really, I guess you can say that for every team. You got to have some luck there as far as injuries go. But yeah, I mean, you're right. From a schematic standpoint, I don't think there's many teams that can slow us down, if at any. I think offensively, I think we can find ways to attack any style of defense or any defense in this league and have success. I think we showed that last year. And that was with inconsistency at the quarterback position. Now you're getting the most consistent quarterback in the league. I think it'll definitely be something to watch. And then defensively, I think you got a young group, but also mixed with good veterans in place at certain spots that are wanting to prove that they are better than what they are recognized for. As you mentioned, Levante David, he's probably one of the best players in this league, and to be number 100, I think it's a slap in the face. And it's undeserving, rightfully so. I mean, he should be at least in the top 50, if not the top 25. I mean, he's that damn good. He's probably one of the best linebackers in this league, if not top 3. It's just a shame he doesn't get the credit he deserves, but that's going to change this year with primetime games and everything that we have on the schedule coming up this year. So really excited about both sides of this team, and even special teams I think is going to be better. So yeah, I mean, this team is ready, and that's why I said it yesterday. I was like, yeah, this team is ready to win now. It's time to make it back to the playoffs. I think that's at least a guarantee. Now it's how far can we go?
I'm starting to. I already was hyped. You said that like if we were going to be there on the cusp, I was like, I just want to make the playoffs. But and realistically, if our offense runs anywhere near as good as it should be, we should be damn near untouchable on offense, and I mean that with a fact. But before I go on to the next topic, so Fred F in the chat said last season Brady's weapons were Edelman, and that's it. And he's still got 12 wins.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we saw it in the tape that we broke down with interceptions. I mean, we were talking about, his receivers, his tight ends weren't helping him. Running backs were, running poor routes. He didn't have much help. And then his offensive line was probably the worst he's had in a very long time. I mean, they were worse than us as far as offensive line goes. They weren't good. He got hit a lot because guys weren't getting open as they usually did in the past. And he had to lean on Edelman because that was his only guy. I mean, that was it. And so, yeah, great point, Fred. I'm excited. Now he's got a team that he just hasn't had before. And I think we talked about this numerous times, that he's got weapons on his side that he just hasn't played with it his an entire career. I mean, you can say Randy Moss, but he hasn't had guys like Chris Godwin, Mike Evans that are athletic and big like this and can make things happen. Rob Gronkowski, OJ Howard, Cam Brate, the list goes on and on. We haven't even talked about Ronald Jones, who could have probably the best year of running backs we've seen in a long time, especially Buccaneer running backs, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if you guys have caught that video breakdown of Tom Brady and the interceptions, but if you haven't, go check it out. Just go check out our YouTube channel, Real Bucs Talk. Go to Film Studies. It's the first video you'll see. But going on, you kept seeing Edelman targeted over and over. Why? Because he has a trust with him, and that's the only guy he knows that's going to run the right correct route. So if you have any distrust in the other guy, why would you throw him the ball? Because he may make you look like an idiot. Maybe that was how Jameis had with OJ last year, because he didn't have the trust with him. He's just throwing it, or maybe just Jameis freaking fired it in there. You don't know. It could be a distrust. It could be the quarterback, tight end. It could be, you don't know, running the wrong route. But if you know one guy is going to do it, you're going to go to that one side more often. If you know there's 3 or 4, hell, with the Bucs, 5 guys that can do it, you have so many options. If you're already seeing one side shaded, you're like, buddy, I love you, but I'm going to go over here because I know my advantage is over here. My numbers win. Like a poker match. Okay, I'm counting cards. It's not over there. It's over here. So why bother? But before I go into this, go ahead.
We've seen that, with Jameis Winston and Mike Evans. When Mike Evans was pretty much the main guy here, didn't really have like the help he has now, with the other guys. I mean, we saw, Jameis continued to go to Mike Evans every game, and even force balls, to Mike Evans at times. And so it was kind of the same thing with Julian Edelman and Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you saw in that film study. I mean, I don't want to give it away, but you just got to go see it to believe it. I mean, and it wasn't as pressing as Jameis just forcing it. It was just him kind of looking. He's like, I don't trust he's going to get open. Let me go around. I think I can win here. It wasn't more just a force. So go check that out. It's not a negative video. It's more opening your eyes to see what the thought process was. But going on, because I want to go into what I heard on, I think it was ESPN. Kyle Allen was higher than Levante David, supposedly. That's got to be a joke.
I mean, Josh Allen?
I think he put Kyle Allen. I think the Panthers quarterback.
Kyle Allen? Really?
He said Kyle. I don't know if that's a joke or not, but that
sounds like a joke to me.
It's got to be. I don't know. I'm not high on that, but because obviously, ratings are ratings. I mean,
they need to fix that list.
We're mad about freaking Madden's ratings. Oh yeah, he meant Josh Allen. Okay,
yeah, Josh Allen.
He said my bad. I said Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen.
I was like, no way.
That's true. He said my bad. Hey, you're fired. You're fired, Jay. You're fired. That's what you get. You see, karma just paid its cost back. But let's go on. So, Naeem Thomas, you're new in the chat. Thank you for coming aboard. Okay, with that said, guys, if you're new to the chat, you haven't yet, subscribe, please. Comment, like, do all that good stuff for us. I know you're out there, so help us out. Since you're enjoying the content, let's keep talking. He said only one active player has more tackles since 2012 when he entered the league, and that's Bobby Wagner. The disrespect is wild. He's 100% correct.
Yeah.
1,000% correct.
Yep.
But, I mean, we've talked about that till the cows come home, that's how they say it. But, I mean, it's ridiculous. But I wanted to talk one more thing about what ESPN said. How, I think it was Marcel Wiley, whatever his name is, LeVar Arrington, and I forgot who the other guy was. But they were talking about how Brady in this offense should be like the number one offense, right? And then LeVar Arrington came in saying, oh, look, Jameis Winston went out there and threw it for the most yards. You have a descending Tom Brady, and why is he going to do better than Jameis Winston? Before I even go on a rant, Go ahead and answer for me, and I'll touch on it later.
Well, I mean, first of all, the easy answer, Tom Brady's just better. I mean, he's better than Jameis Winston. I mean, that shouldn't even be a debate. Tom Brady at 42 years old is still a really damn good football player. He is a top 5 quarterback in this league. He has been for a very long time. He was really good last year, even with the amount of weapons that he didn't have. He just had Edelman and a poor offensive line, and he still led them to 12 wins. Yeah, you could say it's in the AFC, which is a weaker conference. I get that. You're going to the NFC, which is a very strong conference and division that we play in the NFC South. But yeah, I mean, Jameis was going to put up numbers regardless because that's how this offense works. It's a passing offense, and you have weapons that you're going to be able to produce. I mean, any quarterback, I think, pretty much could produce in this offense because of what we have. I mean, you could put Blaine Gabbert back there, and I think it could still throw for maybe 4,000 yards. So there's going to be production at the quarterback spot is what I'm saying. The problem is with Jameis is the turnovers, and you're not going to have that with Tom Brady. He's just not going to turn it over as much. He's going to be smart with the football. You're just not going to have the 30 interceptions, and that's a big thing, and that's what they wanted to fix this year going into this season is reduce the turnovers and see how good we can be when we're not putting our defenses in bad positions, game after game. So, but easy answer, Tom Brady is just a better quarterback, and that's why they should be number 1 offense this year.
Yeah, I mean, and then also look at Winston, like you just said, turning the ball over, so he had to throw for 5,000 yards because we had to get back in the game. We had to open up the offense. We had to abandon the run. We had to do all these things. Whether you say, oh, no, well, we just didn't run the ball much. No, we ran the ball a lot at times. We just had to run, or had to throw the ball because either there were interceptions inside our own 20 or countless turnovers where it's like, what the hell is going on? I know the Panthers game is a bad game in England to look at, but I mean, that wasn't the sum of the whole season, but it was pretty damn close. Mm-hmm. It was just shooting ourselves in the foot, but we could do whatever the hell we wanted on offense. It was more the decision maker making decisions. Mm-hmm. We have the ultimate decision maker. Let's see what the hell can happen. Yes, best of luck for Jameis. I'm tired of talking about Jameis, but it's going to happen. This is still within the year of... That's all you saw. You haven't seen anything else in a Tampa Bay Buccaneer uniform. Mm. Tom Brady, and when we see that 12, holy shit. I mean, I'm going to lose my mind. But, I mean, yeah, I saw a locker room with his name on it, but I want to see him out there, not in an orange suit with a damn, what the hell, those drones flying over. I want to see him in a uniform in live action.
Right.
But, I mean, yes, Tom Brady, ultimate decision maker, will let our team win the game, not make it one-sided. It's everything cumulatively. It's not just one way. And that's where we kind of keep getting blinded into seeing only the offenses work. Our defense got better every damn game of that damn season. No one sees that. Everyone just saw, we put up 5,000 yards. Okay, well, maybe he doesn't even need to do that.
No.
Maybe we can rely on this defense.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like yards.
You just mentioned Levante, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just going to say you look at yards, and that's a great point. I mean, yeah, this offense can put up a lot of yards, but are we going to be more effective and efficient? I would say yes, especially with Tom Brady at the helm, because that's what it comes down to. It's about being consistent. It's about being more effective, efficient, overall. Whether you're in the red zone, you have to be better. That's something we struggled with, over the last couple of years with Jameis Winston. It's been red zone issues. I think they were a little bit better last year. I think they were closer in that higher 50% mark. But then you look at third down conversions, that's a big number. That's something that we struggled with last year. So you're not having as many 3 and outs. You're not starting the game right off with an interception. That helps. So, so when you look at Tom Brady coming in here, it's going to be a more effective offense that could be meaning less yards, but it also more productive numbers as far as touchdowns and ultimately wins, and that's what matters.
Don't even say it better. You nailed it. So, I mean, pretty much we all answered this. J. Elmore said, how many of Jameis's yards were when we were trailing, throwing for the comeback? Yeah, I mentioned that. Like you said, throw a pick, first damn possession of the game. Oh, okay, we're already down. We got to throw. We're forced to throw.
Right.
And that isn't in only the play calling. That's a decision that was made by a quarterback.
Right.
Just because the first play of the game is a throw does not mean our next 5 plays were going to be throws. It could have been next 4 or runs. There was times where we ran the ball 8 or 9 times in a row last year.
Yeah, exactly.
And then people got mad because we didn't throw the ball. So like, there's no winning with like a majority of our fans. So it's crazy at some point. But I mean, yes, we are going to throw the ball a lot. We are going to run the ball a lot. It's going to be whatever works best. I mean, Tom Brady will probably say, "Hey, BA, I got this. Or Leftwich, I'm older than you. I'm more mature than you. I got this." And he's going to call the play. I'm switching it to a run. Just because I see everyone's backing up because Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are just blowing the top off the defense.
Right.
This is things that he can do, the field general that he can do. He's going to put people in motion. Little things that aren't a part of our offense right now, which you only saw a couple times with Jameis with his little throwing his hand up in the air in the Lions game against one of our worst defenses we faced.
Yeah.
You'll see this in our usual occurrence, I would think, with Tom Brady. But, I mean, proof is in the pudding with his 20 years. But, again, this is a whole other offense, team, coach, the structure that he's going to be in. So, can it be replicated? I mean, I would say so because based off of past experiences. But that doesn't mean it's going to be 100% going to be here, especially this offseason.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say. I think it's going to be different. It's going to look different because it's Tom Brady. It's going to be a different style of offense. I don't think it's going to be the same that we saw last year. You know, there's going to be different nuances. There are going to be different just things that are going to be incorporated with this offense because of Tom Brady. And I think you're just going to see, you know, hopefully we see the type of production, you know, that we saw last year, but it's going to be different in how it's portrayed or played out.
Yeah. All right, but let's go into some questions over here. So, Brutal as Bucs said Brady is going to be able to find an open man on every down. I agree. Steve Munoz, I'll get to you after we talk about this Tom Brady stuff. Fred F says, I see Bucs versus Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That'd be kind of crazy. That'd be high-powered offenses. Yeah. J. Elmore says, how many of your... Yeah, we already touched on that. Jordan Durr, good to see you in the damn chat. He says, football is a 3-phase game. Offense, defense, and special teams. We have been a bad team because on any game we pick 1 or 2 of those to be strong on. I think we have more balance going forward. I fully agree with that. Mm-hmm. I mean, like you touched on it earlier, I think our special teams would be better.
Yeah.
And then J. Elmore said, how crazy would a Patriots-Bucs Super Bowl be? Insane in the membrane.
Oh, man. Yeah, that would be something.
I thought you were about to start rapping with Drake. Oh, man, jeez.
No, I mean, that would be something with, you know, especially Cam Newton. If I'm assuming he's going to be a starter and, you know, leads that team to a Super Bowl, that'd be pretty crazy. But, you know, I could definitely see the Bucs being there. Like I told you yesterday, I think this team is definitely that type of caliber, Super Bowl-esque. And, you know, you got to think that way if you want to be, you know, in the top. So, yeah, that could be definitely a possibility.
Yeah. So, I agree. I mean, I just want to see games being played. And then once they do, first game, we light it up. I'm going to say, yeah, Super Bowl. But let's go on to some more.
Yeah, that's gonna be such a great game against the Saints, man. I can't wait for that. It's gonna be really good.
It's gonna be exciting. But let's go on to some serious questions. So Steve Munoz, I'm getting to you. He said, "You guys think OJ will be traded before the season starts?"
No.
And that goes also with Chill Will said, "What trade or trade targets are realistic?"
I don't really see any right now. I think they want to keep all the core guys that they have right now. You know, we talked about it earlier as far as veteran experience. I think that's going to be important. So I don't really see any trade opportunities right now. Maybe Justin Evans, like, you know, but I don't think they could get much for him because he hasn't played. So I just don't really see any trade possibilities.
You would think once all this, I mean, I personally would think once
I mean,
training
maybe
camps,
one of the maybe one of the tight ends. I mean, obviously, but I just don't think OJ's moving.
yeah, I honestly
Maybe
don't think
maybe a
either.
Tanner Hudson.
Maybe him just because he deserves to be on a roster and someone wants to give us. But then again, what will people know of him besides last year?
Right.
He probably would have blown up preseason again. We probably could have traded him, but based off there not being a preseason, maybe teams don't trade. I was thinking more like because teams aren't going to see anything once training camp starts, they're going to be so worried about keeping their players on the field. I mean, maybe say George Kittle does get COVID-19, or maybe someone that really relies on a tight end gets it, and they're like, oh, I need a tight end. Oh, Bay's loaded.
Yeah.
Maybe they give us something. You don't know. I mean, maybe same thing with wide receivers or something like that. I mean, maybe someone comes to call them because they're like, oh, well, they have a young guy, and maybe we can get him for cheap, but then we trying to drive up the price because guess what? Your dude's going to be out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Give us something.
Yeah.
I mean, but that would be evil, but that's business, okay? You got to play with, hey, supply, demand.
Yeah.
Whoa. You got to do it that way, though. Let's keep going. What trade? I wonder what type of press coverage there will be during training camp.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, how much contact are they going to allow, especially in the padded practices once they get towards the later half of the month in August? Yeah, I mean, how much full go do they allow to happen? I'm assuming they're going to allow 100% full go because you have to. I mean, you're going to have to be able to play,
with
the way you want to play.
Or with coverage, you mean?
Well, yeah, with both. I'm just speaking in terms of COVID. I think that's what he's trying to say, right? As far as contact or
no, he's talking just about what type of press coverage.
Oh,
forgive me, I didn't put in press.
Oh, press coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's our style. That's what our defense plays. I think
no. Like I think he means press like the media.
Oh, the media. Oh, yeah. I gotcha. I'm sorry.
I was like, wait a minute, he's not answering this correctly. Come on now.
I'm thinking defense. So, because that's usually what we play is press coverage. But yeah, as far as media goes, I think I think media. I think media. I think is going to be it's going to be everywhere. I mean, we already saw with Tom Brady. I mean, him getting out of the car, we have cameras on him. Just entering the building. So.
Well, I'm thinking he's meaning like, are they going to allow media in there?
Oh.
Or is it going to be Zoom calls? Or is it going to be... Yeah, he had it right in there too. Media coverage.
Probably.
Covina Man is his name too.
Yeah. Probably Zoom calls, I'm assuming. I don't know if they're going to allow, guys in after the games or what have you. I mean, maybe if I guess they're wearing a mask, you keep your distance, I guess, but... Yeah, I'm not sure how that's all going to play out. I'm assuming some type of video conference is going to happen.
To answer that, I would honestly say,
I mean, really, you don't need it.
You don't. I mean
really,
that's just to get the fans excited. I mean, obviously, there hasn't been anything out in the world right now, so everyone's going to be excited for anything. Mm-hmm. So, if anything, I would say allow media to be outside and get questions in that way, not even close, just from a podium up top and media's around on the bottom with a microphone, so they're away. But then again, the media is going to be susceptible. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe it is only Zoom calls because you just can't have that many people around, especially in a time where you're trying to diminish the amount of people that are getting this. And majority of our media, let's be honest, they stack in years, not stacking W's. They stack in years. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. I would rather it be exactly what it is right now. Zoom calls. It is cool as shit. I'll be honest. That Loose Cannon's podcast got the Ryan Jensen interview. That's what I love. I love seeing what is it called? Fringe media.
Yeah.
Getting more attention. Getting more. That's who you want to talk to. You don't want to talk to Mr. oh, I'm Mr. I've been covering. I don't give a crap. You want to talk to the people who actually care most about the team. I have no relation. I don't care.
Yeah, it's supposed to be unbiased.
Care if there's a winner. Yeah. Okay, unbiased, yes, but there's also loving the game, and that's where we just, as fans, want to know more about the game. We want to know the little ins and outs, not how many reps did you get. Did you throw high velocity on that one? Sometimes I just, the media just bugs me. I don't care. It is. I mean, some of the questions, and they jump on it. This guy's ridiculous. Like, I'm gonna say it. It's just But I love that fringe media is getting more attention now, and hopefully it gets better for fringe, and more YouTubers or podcasts and stuff will realize where the kind of shady crap you'd get from media will kind of start subsiding. Maybe that's my true belief of what would happen, but I don't know. Sorry to go on a rant and tangent and shit like that.
No, you're fine, man.
Jay Elmore said it would feel like Super Bowl 37 all over again. Talking Gruden and probably the Raiders. Same thing. The impractical I can't. I shit the bed. Know what happened the last time the Bucs brought in a big name from another team? They met in the Super Bowl. Gruden Bucs versus former team. I hope to God that's exactly what happens. And Jay Elmore said the guard at the gate didn't know who he was about Tom Brady. That's sad. If that's the case, I think media said that. I think he knew. He was just like, Brady, what's going on? Let me steal your ear for a moment. How's Giselle?
Right.
Happy birthday, Giselle. I think that's what he said, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about this with the media coverage? Do you like that more fringe media are getting more attention? Do you like that it's not just the regular media doing crap like that? Like, I don't know. Sometimes there were questions I would want asked, and they would just start hounding the coach because he was getting upset about a certain thing, and they'd be like wanting to egg him on to get him more mad. Who the hell cares? I want to know more about the team, what's going on, not if you can make someone upset or not. Like, how low are you because you want to make someone pissed off? Obviously, we all are pissed off if we're losing. I don't know.
Right.
But I'll shut up. Plus, tell me more about what you want to say.
No. I mean, you're making good points. I got confused with the press coverage and media coverage, and I'm thinking, in football terminology. So, but as far as the media goes, I mean, I think we have some really good media members here. I could mention some names, but I'm excited about, as far as, like you said, the fringe media, Pewtercast, Loose Cannons, us, we're trying to make a name for ourselves on YouTube. So it's cool. And, I would like to see them get more attention, because like you said, the real questions get asked. It's more meaningful. It's more better for the fans. It's just, I think it makes more of an impact when you have, fans that can relate to, the players a little bit better, as far as what they're asking. And I think that makes a better, just more impact, I would say.
Yeah, it's not just black and white. There's actually color and commentary, and it's cool to see this, like, interacting with fans and fans' questions. It's not just the agenda you have or the propaganda you want to push. Like, that's the stuff that kind of
and I understand that, these reporters, I mean, they have deadlines that they have to meet. They have, certain articles that they have to write, so they have to ask certain questions to meet those articles and get the information.
The sad part, though. That's the sad part.
Yeah, it is the sad part. I mean, they have bosses that they have to, abide to and make sure they're getting a certain amount of articles out so they can get paid, and, it is their livelihood. So I understand that. But yeah, you would like to see them ask some different type of questions that would actually, be more beneficial to what's going on in the game and as far as the roster. But, you have some that do that, and they do a really good job of doing that. And then some others are just like, whatever. They have a press pass, they can be there. You know, I'll never forget, you know, you had the one guy that, you know, gets talked a lot about around here, and fell asleep at one of Dirk Cutter's press conferences.
Whoa.
And yeah, and you know, for that guy to have a press pass, I mean, that's the ultimate low. You fall asleep at a press conference, that's not a good look. And I think that's why that certain coverage gets looked down upon recently. So
Fell asleep. Well,
yeah.
I've been laughing about the whole damn hour we've been on this, so I don't know if I'm falling asleep or not. But hey, other than that, guys, I think we've touched on all the points we can touch on that we've actually done. Again, if you haven't yet, subscribe, like, comment, especially on this video if you haven't just yet. With that, plus, I will see you when we actually do our next film study. Other than that, guys, thank you for all the appreciation and all the comments and questions. Other than that, we'll catch you on the next one.
Go Bucs.
Nice.